Hello again! This is Becca, going by Nightcat or Nightcat's Meow when online, back again for another week with Linden's scripting language. If you see behind me the somewhat familiar door frame, we're dealing with that again this week. To keep it simple for those that may just be starting up with this one, since I've done a couple of weeks dealing with doors, this time I went ahead and pre-scripted the two interior sections there, the ones that will slide open. I went ahead and got those scripted already, and this will be available as a new freebie complete with those in place. So it won't be very difficult to follow along, because this time we're going to deal with a little bit about security. How we're going to do this one is we're going to program it to identify if the owner of the door is the one who has come up and is trying to walk through. If it is the owner, it will open normally. If it is not the owner, then it will reject them unless it receives a password. Alternatively, if it receives a command to open from the owner, it will again automatically function. So it's a nice way to look at filtering things based on a variety of inputs, and another way to practice with identifying who's who, what's what, and how to do all of that jiggery pokery. Alright, so to start with, we have the door frame. We're going to open this up. New script. We don't need a state entry right now. Collision start. There, got it spelled right. So to start off, we'll just have it automatically send the message linked, because I've already programmed the actual door sections to receive it. We want it to go through the entire thing. So link set. Channel really doesn't matter. I don't have it set to filter for channels. We'll just use 10 for this. Open. And null key. Now we could have it filter the key on the interior sections that are going to respond to this message. And if you wanted to have different things respond in different ways based on that, that would be just fine. But we're keeping this simple right now this time. So we'll just use a null key. We're not sending any specific key here. And because we want it to automatically close, set timer event 10 seconds. Whoops. There we go, 10 seconds. And timer. Easiest way is just going to be to copy and paste this. Close. Forgot this has to have a starting integer. And that automatically opens. Stand back off of that. Give that a couple more seconds. There we go. Forgot we should always put in a close to the timer, because it's right now every 10 seconds is sending that close. You'd never notice the difference because it's already closed. And if you trigger it again, it will restart the 10-second count. So you'd never see it, but it's good practice. Now, the next thing we're going to do, in order to make it easier to test, we're going to make this a touch more complicated than it really has to be. So, okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to now filter for whether or not it was hit by the owner. If detected key 0 equals get owner, then it will do these things. That was a small typo. Else say unauthorized. Makes it even easier. No unauthorized entry. There we go. Still responds accordingly because you are the owner, or in this case, I am the owner, the one who made this. Now, in order to test, we'll now say is not equal to get owner. So anybody but me, it'll open up for. I'm basically locking myself out here. No unauthorized entry. Okay. So we know that works. Next, we're going to give it the ability to receive a password or be told by the owner to open the door. So we will start with putting back in state entry. I really need to stop making those go away. Listen, 0, comma. We don't care what it's from. We do care about the source, get owner. We're going to let it take anything in there. And then we're going to add the listen. First is the channel it's on. Then is a string for what it's coming from. This is the name of whatever is delivering the command. This is a thing we've used to filter for HUDs. Then key who, string message. And I could make it a simple command here. You know what? Let's in fact do that. I was going to deal with substrings like last week, but we don't need to worry about that. Equals open there we go. There. Now I can open it on command because we have that command set to receive if it is the owner. It will, first thing it checks is it on channel 0? Then it checks, is it my owner? And then it checks for if it's the word open. If it is, it passes open with all those parameters down here, which responds to that. However, we also want it to be openable by a password. Listen, 0 from anybody, any key, and a password. What shall we make a good password? Cat's rule. And now we have else, if, I could do an else if, or since it's going to produce the same result, I can say or, that double pipe there means or, message equals cat's rule. Forgot the underscore there. There. Anybody who says cat's rule, the door will open, because it's not filtering for a key. So that's a simple way to make a secured door. If the owner can walk up through it, no problem. Just walk right on through. Remember, though, we only set that to close for a test. So double equal. So it is, if the detected key is the owner, open up. If the owner says to open, it will open. And if anybody else gives the password, cat's rule, or whatever password you set, that will work. This is just a simple way to create a secured door, just a quick and easy lesson, and it accounts for the various things you might need in a secure environment. Now, naturally, you may want to do other things, and we can explore doing other things, such as creating keys that a person can wear that will trigger that. We could set it up more complicated to give certain different people certain passwords, or different passwords at different times. There's a lot of different ways we can do that. This was just a quick, simple thing to give you some idea. And again, we're looking at what scenarios might you need to approach. Next week we can go through and do this a little more in depth. Make it a real interactive thing. Make it a real simulation. We'll go through and we'll create a virtual doorman that will give the responses. So you'll see a little more how this all fits together to simulate things in this virtual world that we all share. So until then, take care and happy scripting.